All right, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna see if I can actually invite Nutri Advanced and see if they can join me instead. Guys, I'm having issues joining Nutri Advanced. I don't know what's been going on. This tech thing, I can't deal with this. So it's not letting me join Nutri Advanced live. So I thought I would create yeah. Okay, let's see if it works now. Yeah, I'm accepting and it's still not allowing me. What's been going on? Now it's saying Nutri Advanced is unable to join. Oh God, this is very unfortunate.
Hi, Paula.
Oh my goodness.
It's working.
Oh, thank God. Is it okay if we do it on this account?
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, just my headphones aren't working at the moment, so there we
It
go.
wasn't letting me join your live for some reason. So I was like, okay, let me just try doing the live myself.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. I'm glad that we managed to talk. So,
Yeah.
thank you so much. And yeah, thanks for joining us today to talk through skin health. And we have some great questions coming. But before we get started, do you want to just explain, Paula, a little bit about how your clinic works and what got you excited and passionate about skin health?
Yeah, of course. So I am a certified integrative functional medicine practitioner. And I run my own practice. So basically what I do, I work with clients all around the world with a wide range of health issues, that being skin, autoimmune, digestive, allergy issues. I mean, everything that you can think of, I've worked with that. And I work with clients, yeah, all around the world because all my services are virtual. So that is basically what I do in a nutshell. And in terms of skin, the reason that's why I'm so passionate about skin is because, I mean, first of all, more than half of my clientele is based on skin issues. So whether that is psoriasis, eczema, rosacea, just skin inflammation overall, autoimmune issues that cause a lot of skin inflammation, acne, everything that you can think of. So I deal with a lot of skin issues, right? And I love seeing like the transformations, the before and after. I have so many before and afters as well on my website, and I just love seeing that. But it's also because of my own journey. So to be honest, it all started with myself. So I had severe cystic acne and eczema. And then, yeah, I didn't figure it out. I was going to doctor to doctor to doctor. No one could help me. I was on antibiotics. They offered me Accutane. They offered me a lot of these laser treatments. What else? Chemical peels. Just so much. There's just so much that they offered me. And obviously I didn't want to go down that route. I mean, I did try a few of those conventional treatments because at that point I didn't really have any knowledge, but it wasn't really serving me whatsoever. It was actually making the situation worse. So that is when I kind of like quit conventional medicine and I started going the alternative route, which shouldn't be really called alternative, right? Because it's not really alternative. Let's be real here. But yeah, and then now I'm here with like, all of my issues are gone. And I'm just so grateful for it, and that's why I just want to share this with the world, really.
Yeah, and at the moment there's a lot of interest in skin health, and there is quite a distinction, I'd say, between what we get asked at Nutri Advanced, between kind of more cosmetic skin health, where people are looking at obviously like wrinkles and a skin tone and things like that, versus clinical. Do you find that the protocols often overlap for both of those?
You mean conventional medicine and alternative?
No, like just the protocols that you have for cosmetic kind of skin health as well as clinical skin health? So more of your eczema, your psoriasis and things like that. Do you find that the protocols are similar?
I mean, it's always down to the root cause, right? So there's not like a protocol for eczema, a protocol for rosacea, a protocol for wrinkles, a protocol like there isn't
Yeah.
like I operate that like that. I'm really like, okay, let's run labs, let's see what the issue is. Is it candida? Is it bacterial overgrowth? Is it gut permeability, like leaky gut? Like what is it, right? And then once we know what the root cause is, then now we can create a protocol for that, right?
Yeah,
So that is how I see
absolutely.
protocols for skin conditions.
Yeah, and at Nutri Advance, we get that a lot as well, that people are looking for something maybe topical, or they're looking for something that helps exactly with the skin layers, but you have to go right to the gut problem. You know, like the root of the problem, sorry. And often we find that gut is at the root of the problem. Do you see that? We often talk about skin from within at Nutri Advanced. Do you find that as well?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, the gut is just so connected with the skin. And it was not really until I healed my gut that my skin issues went away. I mean, that's the reality. You know, yes, it
Yeah.
got better with the few I did here and then, but until I healed my gut, my skin did not improve. I mean, there's the, gut skin axis. There's the gut brain axis. I mean, we can do an entire live on like gut brain axis, right? But the bottom line is that if you have, for example, intestinal permeability, which is when the walls of your gut, they become permeable, and it allows for things like bacteria, toxins, yeast, food strains that are in your intestines to leak into the bloodstream. And now bearing in mind that what leaks into the bloodstream now becomes systemic, because the bloodstream is constantly circulating around your entire body. And what is your skin? Your skin is your largest detoxification organ. So anything that your body needs to excrete, especially if you have constipation, by the way, like if you're not going to the bathroom every day, and if it's not a full bowel movement, then you do have constipation, even though a lot of doctors say, no, it's normal to go 3 times a week. I'm sorry, that's not normal. If you're eating every day, you should be emptying your bowels every day. I mean, that's the reality. Otherwise, you're accumulating toxins. So yeah, and then your body is just going to eliminate it through the skin, because your skin is your largest detoxification organ. So if you have any sort of skin issue, like if you're watching this and if you have any sort of skin issue, you need to understand that this is actually a blessing for you, because your body is telling you that there's something going on inside.
Absolutely. And we've had some questions come in. Some of the questions that come in are very specific to certain skin conditions, but some are more sort of global, universal. Starting with somebody's asked, is it sensible in the UK to wear an SPF cream to protect your skin?
Yeah. So, my answer is going to surprise a lot of people. And it's not going to make, if you're a dermatologist and you're watching this, you're probably not going to be very happy. I'm probably going to become your enemy, but you know what? I don't really care, so I'm going to go for it. So, all right, I have an issue with sunscreens because number one, I test clients every single day in my practice, and I see 9 times out of 10, they are deficient in vitamin D. So we know that sunscreen actually lowers your ability to absorb vitamin D, right? So that's point number one. But that's not even that much of an issue, because you can supplement with vitamin D, right? Nutri Advance has, for example, a really good vitamin D drop, which I recommend to a lot of my clients. So like that's fine, right? But the problem is that a lot of these sunscreens that you find, in drugstores and just a lot of these shops, that they are loaded with chemicals that are known to be carcinogenics, which means that you're putting something on your skin that has ingredients that are known to be carcinogenic. And now you might be thinking, well, that's very weird. Why has my dermatologist then recommended, this sunscreen? Because dermatologists, they don't study this in medical school. They know that UV rays can cause skin cancer, and they know that UV rays can cause skin aging, and therefore they're like, here, sunscreen. Makes sense, right? But they are not going deep enough. They're not peeling the onion deep enough. And you need to be able to peel the onion. That is what functional medicine and integrative medicine is all about. And we know that chemicals in sunscreen are known to cause cancer. So for example, we see skin cancer. A lot of people think skin cancer is a direct result of UV exposure, which can be, don't get me wrong, if you get burnt, right? But a lot of the times it's actually because of the products that you put in your skin to prevent skin cancer in the first place. So listen, like, I don't wear sunscreen because I have, I have Brazilian genes, so I have more melanin in my skin, so I don't get burnt. However, I understand that not everybody is like me, and if you go overseas, if you travel overseas, you need to be careful, right? Like, you need to use your common sense. Like, you're not going to go there in the sun and just fry yourself and get burnt, because that's dangerous. That is when you obviously increase your risk for skin cancer, right? So be sensible. Now, if you want to apply sunscreen, because for example, let's say they have a very fair skin and you want to prevent rapid aging of your skin, then obviously that's a personal choice, and I completely understand. Then in that case, you need to make sure that you make your homemade sunscreen at home, or at least buy a completely toxic free one. I have a recipe for homemade sunscreen, so if anyone is interested, they can just DM me and I'll send you the recipe. But that is my recommendations, and so that's why it's, again, answering the question, the number of the SPF, it also depends on your skin type. If you have more darker skin, then you would need less, right? If you have less darker skin, then you would need a higher SPF. But again, I personally don't use sunscreen. I'm not saying that you shouldn't. I'm just saying do your research and make, a decision based on your research.
And another one that's come in just whilst we're on sort of a topical application is somebody's asked about difference between male and female skincare routines. Would you have any like major differences there?
Yeah, so female and male skincare routines should vary a little bit, and it's just because you just need to look at how the skin is built, right? So for example, male skin, they naturally have more collagen, and their skin is generally more oily than women. So if you look at that, let me give you my example of what my skincare routine looks like. So I only wash my face once a day with a cleanser. I don't do morning and evening just because I don't want to remove these natural oils from our skin. And that's what a lot of people get wrong. So a lot of people with acne and oily skin, they're like, oh my God, let me wash my skin, let me get rid of the oil. But what you're doing, you're removing the natural oils of your skin, and then your body will actually try to compensate by producing more sebum, which is then going to lead to more acne. So it's like a vicious cycle. So I wash my face, my skin, with a very gentle cleanser in the evening. Then I apply a serum, and then I apply a moisturizer. So that's in the evening. In the morning, very similar. So I still wash my face with warm water when I'm showering. But again, I do have a shower filter. So I'm not, if you don't have a shower filter, highly recommend getting a good one, because you don't want to be exposed to those heavy metals and chlorine. That's going to inflame your skin more. And then I apply serum. It's generally a different serum. And then again, moisturizer. So very simple skincare routine. That was not my skincare routine when I had acne, that's for sure. My skincare routine when I had acne was, 10-step routine, because again, I didn't know it was from the inside out, right? But then if you think about it, do men need so much moisturizer? Not really, because their skin is naturally more oily. So maybe instead of moisturizing your skin twice a day, you can do once a day. Maybe instead of washing your face with a cleanser once a day, you can do it twice, because again, you have more sebum, right? And you don't have to be as careful as women, because again, they have more collagen. So women just have to put a little bit more of an effort.
And talking about collagen, actually, that's something that we do get asked about a lot. Do you recommend, we have a lot of perimenopausal women, or lots of practitioners who talk about perimenopause, and yeah, we have collagen as an option. Is that something that you come across, and you recommend frequently?
Yeah, so collagen is like an add-on that I would do. So it wouldn't be the foundation of a supplement protocol. So it wouldn't be like, hey, if someone asks me, if someone doesn't take any sort of supplements and they're like, what supplement should I take? Collagen will not be my number one supplement. That's, there's a foundation that you need to take. Now, if you cover your foundation, then definitely collagen would be a great add-on. But it's like the cherry on top of the cake,
Yeah.
But for sure, especially for women, postmenopausal, Highly recommend.
And you mentioned briefly for hormones. So we've been asked, somebody's asked about tips for dealing with hormonal acne, such as what foods to eat, what to avoid, but also, we have a few people asking about Accutane as well. The
Yeah.
use of.
Okay. So those are two questions. So let's start with Accutane. So Accutane, I was offered Accutane when I was going through my my own issues, my cystic acne. I didn't go that route just because I did my research and it was just not for me. I rather, staying with the acne than going and taking Accutane. Again, that was a very difficult decision for me to make because trust me, I was very depressed. My self-esteem was just terrible because obviously I was very self-conscious about my skin. But the problem with Accutane is that it's a very harsh drug. It's a very high dosage of vitamin A, of synthetic vitamin A, right? And can cause permanent damage to your liver. And your liver is like your gut. Honestly, sometimes I don't know what's more important, your liver or your gut, because your gut is your brain, is your second brain, but your liver is detoxifying your blood 24/7. It's literally producing so many hormones, breaking down a lot of hormones, removing excess estrogen, things like that. So it's just your liver is super important. So the moment that you damage your liver, I mean, your entire bodily systems are going to be completely destroyed. So the problem with Accutane as well is that I've seen people in my practice that they've been one, two, 3 rounds of Accutane and the acne is still coming back. Don't get me wrong, it works for some people, right? But just because it works for some people, it does not mean that they fix the root cause of the issue. Because if you have acne, there's a root cause there, right? There's some sort of issue going on. Is it bacterial overgrowth, candida overgrowth, leaky gut? Is it a sluggish liver? Is it food sensitivities? What is it? The moment that you take Accutane, even if it goes away, the root cause is still there. So it's actually a disservice to yourself because something's going to come up in the future. So that's the problem. So that's answering the Accutane question. Now the question regarding hormonal acne. So again, what would I recommend for hormonal acne? Well, obviously I would recommend testing your hormones, right? Let's get some data because the approach would depend on what hormones are out of whack. Because let's say it could be testosterone, it could be high androgens, which I see all the time in women with PCOS, right? So if it's high androgens, the approach would differ because we know that high androgens produce more sebum, right? Which is the oil, and they can clog pores and create acne. Now, it can also be estrogen dominance. But again, going back to the testosterone, so if it was high androgens, it's not like, oh, you have high androgens, that's it. No, let's peel back the onion. Why do you have high androgens, right? Is it inflammation? Is it insulin resistance? Like, what is it? So that's one thing. And then let's say that it's estrogen dominance. So in my practice, I actually see hormonal acne linked to estrogen dominance a lot of the times. And again, how would we test for this? Very simple. You can do it at home, saliva test, and you would look at your progesterone, estrogen, and your progesterone to estrogen ratio. This is not something that doctors look at because your estrogen dominance does not mean necessarily high estrogen. You could have normal estrogen, but your progesterone is so low that it leaves estrogen dominance, and you're going to have the symptoms of estrogen dominance. Now, you might say, oh, but I went to my GP and my GP said my hormones are fine. I mean, first of all, GPs rarely test for progesterone.
Yeah.
And when they do, they look at estrogen and progesterone in isolation. So they'll look at estrogen and they'll say, oh, estrogen is fine. And then they'll look at progesterone and they'll say, oh, progesterone is fine. But they're missing the entire point here. You have to look at them as a ratio, right? So again, so that would be ideal, the ideal way to go about things, testing your hormones, see what's going on. Now, what can you do in the meantime? So a lot of things, but I'm going to give you my 3 top tips. So number 1, blood sugar. Okay, we need to balance our blood sugar because dysregulated blood sugar, high insulin, leads to what? An increase in IGF-1, right? Which basically leads to increased sebum production. So we need to balance our blood sugar. So making sure that you're getting enough fiber, enough protein in your meals. Now, breakfast is the most important. I wear a continuous glucose monitor, which basically tests my blood sugar 24/7. And I've been testing with different breakfasts, and I've noticed that breakfast is the most important thing, because if you mess up a breakfast, let's say that you have a high carby breakfast, not enough protein, high sugary breakfast, even if your lunch and dinner are fine, you're gonna get ups and downs in your blood sugar, because breakfast is like the foundation. It sets the tone for the rest of the day in terms of your blood sugar. So what would I recommend for breakfast? Well, have a smoothie, something easy to digest. You're not gonna have, because some people say, yeah, protein, let me do some salmon, some eggs. Yeah, but those, you don't want to have those hard to digest proteins in the morning when your digestive system is asleep. You do a smoothie, you put some good quality protein in there, you do some healthy fats, some fiber, low glycemic fruits, no mangoes, no bananas, no pineapples, none of that. We do low glycemic blueberries, you know, the strawberries, the cherries. If you're getting strawberries, making sure that they're organic, because strawberries are loaded with pesticides. So yeah, making sure that you're balancing your blood sugar. Now, so that's number one. Number two would be eating an anti-inflammatory diet. All right, so what does that entail? Well, number one, removing food sensitivities. You can test for this very simply, but if you haven't tested, the best place to start is making sure that you remove the gluten, the dairy. Dairy increases IGF-1, same thing, more sebum, more acne, more inflammation. So dairy, gluten, sugar. So those are the three main ones that I would highly recommend removing. Now, eggs is another one that a lot of people don't think about. I've seen eggs to be a sensitive food to a lot of people, especially egg whites. Not so much egg yolks, but especially egg whites, the protein in egg whites. So you remove the foods you're sensitive to, and now you start to follow an anti-inflammatory diet. So what does that entail? A lot of fruits and vegetables. Again, ideally fruits that are low glycemic. Your meals should be very balanced. So again, your meals shouldn't have any gluten, any dairy, or an ideal world, of course. Making sure that you're getting your healthy fats, your protein, your carbs. Okay, make sure they're getting your protein. A lot of my clients, when they tell me what they're eating, I'm like, oh my God, where's your protein coming from? So protein, very important. I have a lot of recipes in my membership platform that ticks all of those boxes, and they're so simple, so quick. But yeah, like if you don't know where to get started, you can have a look at those recipes, but keep it simple. Like simple is better. So that's number two tip. Now, number three tip would be avoiding endocrine disruptors. So again, you can find endocrine disruptors are basically chemicals that disturb all of your hormones. They throw your hormones completely out of. So trying to eat organic food as much as possible. I understand that if you cannot buy everything organic, at least avoid the foods that are loaded with pesticides, right? Like don't buy them at all. I have a video again on my membership platform that talks all about the foods that you should avoid if you're not buying organic. Number two would be, water. So making sure that you're filtering your water. This is very important, but not with those cheap water filters like Brita filter. Okay, I'm talking about like a good quality Berkey filter that's going to filter your water of like the toxic heavy metals, chlorine, all of that. And then number three would be the products that you use. What shampoo are you using? What conditioner are you using? Deodorants, skin, like moisturizers, toothpaste, all of that. They're loaded with, again, a lot of endocrine disruptors and carcinogens again. So make sure that you're buying non-toxic, clean products. All right, if you don't know what brands you should use, I have a resources page that you can find in the link in my bio. I list all of the brands that I recommend in there. So those would be my main three tips really for, like, you know, rebalancing your hormones.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, we get this at Nutri Advanced a lot, that people phone and ask about what's good for skin. And then you start talking to them about guts and hormones and detox, and they're a bit like, oh, I thought I was just going to be taking some skin pills.
Not that simple, is it?
It's like, yeah, let's see what's going on. Let's dig deeper. Somebody's asking, how do they, with a skin condition, they've got a skin condition called hidradenitis suppurativa.
Yeah.
And they've done a detox and they've done a gut program, but they're still struggling. Would you have any suggestions that if they tried to do something like that, and they're still hitting some issues, is there anything that they could be doing, or is there anything that they might have missed?
Okay, so what I'm looking at predominantly with that skin condition would be like pH imbalance, really, or even bacteria coming from the gut. But you said that that person already did a gut protocol. Okay. It would be great to test again to see whether the gut is doing okay now, right? Because ideally, do a gut protocol and then test to make sure that everything is balanced. But assuming that the gut is balanced, then we can look at some add-ons, extra add-ons that we can add, like supplements. So for example, ginger would be great because ginger suppresses a very well-known enzyme that is involved in that specific skin condition. But also, what is it called? Antioxidants. So like quercetin, for example. So I know that you guys, you have a great line with a lot of antioxidant supplements. That would be a great one that you could try as well. Fish oils, omega-3s, making sure that you are getting enough omega-3s. That's super, super, super important. And obviously making sure that you're doing your foundation right. So you're doing your foundational supplement protocol. Okay, if you want to try some collagen as well, like that is when the add-ons would come into play. So you did a detox, you did a gut protocol, cool. So you took care of the foundation, right? Now you can start adding the add-ons, like what I was saying, like the cherry on top of the cake, right? So you can try the ginger, the antioxidants, the omega-3 is part of the foundation, making sure that you are controlling levels of stress, because we know that cortisol, the moment that you get stressed out and you get into the fight or flight, you're going to create more inflammation. So even if the foundation, if your gut is doing fine, if your liver is doing fine, but if you're getting stressed out, then that's going to lead to more inflammation, because cortisol will increase inflammation in the body, right? And also making sure that you're doing the natural non-toxic skincare. All of that, super, super important. But again, loading up on the antioxidants, in my opinion, that would be a non-negotiable for me as well.
That's great. Yeah, thank you very much. And then somebody else has asked the question. We've got 2 skin conditions that people have asked about, and I'm aware of the time. We started a little late, so I'm going to push for another couple of questions. Somebody's asked about solar urticaria, which is the sensitivity to the sunlight. And then somebody else has asked about a condition called granuloma annulare as well. Do you have any advice? I mean, they're obviously 2 separate conditions, but do you have any advice on those?
I've worked with clients with both conditions, so I'm very well aware so what they really are. So granuloma annulare. So this is generally it. Let's explain where it is first. If you look that up, it looks like ringworm, and sometimes it can even be raised. Now, what I see this very correlated with is candida in the gut, but also it could be viral related. So let's say that you test and there's no candida in there, or let's say that you do a gut protocol and you get rid of the candida. Fine. Now what? Still there? Okay, let's look at viruses. What is your immune system like? Because if your immune system is doing good, you shouldn't be worried about viruses. If you're getting viruses all the time, then there's clearly something wrong with your immune system. So immune system, 3 main supplements that I recommend for a strong immune system, assuming that your gut is healthy, because again, 70% of your immune system is in your gut. So you would fix your gut, and then supplements: zinc, vitamin D, vitamin C. Foundational supplements for your immune system. All right. Now, what else can you do? Sleep. Make sure you're getting a good quality sleep, right? At least 8 hours of sleep. Getting a good REM sleep, because it's not only the amount of sleep, but also the quality of sleep. So REM sleep, deep sleep, super important. It's not that I recommend 8 hours for everybody. The average is 7.5 hours. But I'm saying someone that is trying to heal from a condition, I would say minimum 8 hours. Controlling stress, so sleep, controlling how you respond to stress. Because again, stress, what does that do? It shuts down the immune system. Your body is in fight or flight, is in a survival-based mode, and your immune system is going to shut down, and you're not going to be in homeostasis, and your body is not going to be repairing and rejuvenating, right? Because you're either in the fight or flight and survival, or you're in the parasympathetic, which is the rest and digest and restoration, repair, etc. And now the other condition that you mentioned is the allergy to the sun. Okay, So again, I've seen this quite a lot in practice, and whether you can overcome it or not really depends on whether you were born with it or not. So if you were born with it, that's a different story because it's probably genetically based. Now, if you develop that at some point in your life, let's say when you were a teenager or as an adult, then yes, you can definitely overcome this, right? So what are we looking at here? Something's up with the immune system because every time you go to the sun, your skin produces histamines. So there's some sort of issue with your mast cells. Why are the mast cells becoming so activated? So we need to look at gut health. So that means candida, bacteria, parasites. Parasites is a big one. We need to look at permeability, so leaky gut. We need to make sure that we remove any food sensitivities. And we need to make sure that we keep our immune system strong. So ideally, we would lab test. You can lab test all of this to figure out what's going on, to see what exactly is affecting your immune system. Because once you heal your immune system, your mast cells should calm down and you shouldn't be having those histamine reactions to the sun.
Absolutely. And I think if we could just finish on one last point. So someone's asked if any of these skin conditions can actually be cured, which I know that at Nutri would definitely say if you can get to those root causes, then this would be absolutely achievable. So would you find that as well, that you can find a cure for eczema, psoriasis, all of these different things?
Okay. So first, I always need to give my disclaimer, right? Because I always say I don't cure, treat, or diagnose any disease. That's for medical doctors only. That's for conventional medicine. So now that I put my disclaimer out there,
Oh,
can
that's
you
it.
overcome these skin conditions? Can you, for me, what I'm looking at, if you don't have the symptoms of these skin conditions, then in my eyes, the skin disease is not there, right? There's always a root cause. So I need you to know, and I want you to know that anything that you're suffering from right now, any skin issue that you're suffering from right now, can be overcome. There's a reason, there's a root cause. You just need to get to the root cause, and it's not an overnight thing. It's not taking a pill and tomorrow you wake up and you're, that skin condition is gone. It takes some time, but in 12 weeks, I'm pretty sure you can overcome that skin condition. Approximately 12 weeks. Obviously, it's going to vary individual to individual, but definitely for sure, if you get to the root cause, yeah. But if you take the pills, the cortisone cream, the Accutane, the antibiotics, all of those band-aid approaches, then you're just going to be walking around in circles, really.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for a really informative session. It's been absolutely amazing, and thanks very much for your insights into all of those different areas. And thanks for joining us.
Of course, my absolute pleasure. And I'm, again, thank you for your patience with my technical skills. But it was great talking to you. Thank you so much for having me on. This throws a little